Welcome to Automedics, transmitting from the NTA2 Network Center in Victoria Island in Lagos. My name is Ben, and I have Ibrahim here with me this morning in the studios to also talk about your vehicles. Hi, Ibrahim.
Good morning.
And together we'll be giving you the dish out today on Automedics. As you know, Automedics is a car company. We are into maintenance and also training. We offer various training when it comes to automotive in this country. And part of the training that we also offer includes Autodiagnosis. That is a diagnosis in the automotive field. And that entails knowing how to diagnose vehicles and also fixing the vehicles. We also have various workshops across the country, but especially in Lagos here. So if you want training, a good hands-on training on automotive repairs, Automedics is where to be. And we'll be taking questions too from our listeners across various platforms, on the WhatsApp platform, on Facebook, and also on Twitter. So there are so many platforms you can also reach us to send in your questions, and we'll also be able to give you solutions to your heating automotive problem. We also have a segment here where we discuss certain automotive trends that are coming up. Yeah, of course, we believe, you know, that so many features are coming with the automobile these days, and so many people don't really understand how these things work on their vehicles, even though they exist on such vehicles. I'm sure, Ibrahim, you know what we are talking about here. People have vehicles. Let me just say, in short, that these vehicles are smart vehicles.
Of course, yes. For reason being that the safety of everyone who uses a vehicle is paramount.
Yeah.
And manufacturer, or let's say standard organizations, wants that the car should be safer for everyone to use. So some of these features are not just for fun. They are more or less to increase the effectiveness of vehicle and likewise the safety of those in the car anytime they are in it.
Yeah, you just sure to put it that a modern vehicle is built around health, safety, and environment.
Yeah.
And we'll be looking at that shortly when we get into that segment. And also, we are going, like the questions we are going to take, we will look at some of the questions that we take from our listeners out there. People who will here also will look at some of the questions we'll pick up. And let's see this one here. Okay, this one is from Jide Oguntoyimbo, that is from Facebook, and it says that I have been driving the Volkswagen Passat 2010 for 6 years, and it was working perfectly. Recently, I went to the store. I guess he went to visit the store or something to buy something, and when I got back to the car and tried to turn it on, it wouldn't just work. The battery was fine, and everything was okay, and but the only thing he saw there was the EPC on the dashboard. So he saw the EPC on the dashboard, and he took it to the mechanic, and the mechanic said the car ECM has a problem, and he's not sure about what it is, and that is why he's sending us this message. What he should do about it, Brian?
Well, when it comes to a car not starting, there are so many things that you would always want to look at.
Yeah.
And now that he himself is eliminating the fact that the battery is okay, well, there are other things that we need to look at. Like, for example, every car key would always carry a security in there, or more or less like what we call the immobilizer, so that whomever is not having the right key to the car would not, the car is likely not to start. So sometimes you could have an issue with the immobilizer, but they don't just develop issues like that. It could be as a result of bad use, and sometimes the environment you park cars could also affect, because these immobilizers also transmit signals.
Radio frequency.
Yes, radio frequency identification signals. That's the RFID. So number one, the area he's parking the car might be a reason why the car might not start. But whenever it is a security issue, there's a likelihood that you would have either the key light flashing on the car. But if the key light does not flash and the car still would not start, then we would have to look at, does it even crank?
Yeah.
Just that the car does not start. But if it is not cranking and it is not starting, there is a way we would have to trace where the problem could be coming from. So it could just be a problem with the starter motor sometimes. It could also be a problem with the engine sometimes. So the technician might need to look at other things before deciding on changing the electronic control units that you have on that car. So I would not subscribe to you just going ahead and changing the electronic control unit. There's a need for him to check the starter motor if it is good. There's a need for him to even check the engine itself if it is turning and the likes. So let him check all these basics before proceeding to probably telling you to change the electronic control unit you have on the car.
Yeah, well, one thing he didn't mention also is that they didn't run the scan on the vehicle. Yeah, so if they had run the scan on the vehicle, we probably will know 1 or 2 fault codes and what actually happened why the EPC light is on. Because on Volkswagen vehicles, most times when you have any problem that has to do with the engine, the EPC light comes on. So just judging directly that the ECU or ECM has a problem would not be the right thing to do, just like Ibrahim said. So the first thing to do a proper diagnosis on the vehicle, that is running a diagnostic scan, and then find out exactly what is going on that, okay? I'm sure Jide will be happy about this. The next one here is from Ibrahim Yusuf, and this one is via WhatsApp. And it says, my car shakes when accelerating from the first gear, and when it drives normally until the next stop, and start again when driving away. The car is a 2001 Nissan Pathfinder, 3.5 liters SE. I have them put a 2004 engine in it because its original engine had a problem. I noticed too that it doesn't change into overdrive, and it's not getting into the higher gears.
Well, one of those things he mentioned in the question is that he has done some tuning.
Changing the engine completely. I'm just trying to find out now between the 2001 engine, it's a 3.5, the 2004 is also a 3.5. I think it's from 2005 they have the 4.0.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so do you think in any way that the engine that was swapped could be a problem? Yeah, because
well, yeah, it could be and it could not, because many a times like that, when you have a change of engine like that, and the model you're changing to probably have an extra feature that the one you have inside and that you have in the vehicle does not have, then definitely the computer is going to pick up a fault. And what you have on cars is that whenever the computer picks up a fault like that, it is enough not to allow the transmission to shift very well, and especially on the overdrive, which is the highest gear, as you mentioned. But coming back to your first concern, and that is whenever you are accelerating from the first gear, you observe a vibration from the engine. Yeah. Well, this vibration or this check on the vehicle might be a problem with probably the drive shaft that it has on the car. Or you are having one of the, because many times when it comes to vibration like that, I always say you have to check anything that turns or rolls. Yeah. So whenever you're having a clearance with anything that turns on the car, and one of the main culprit in this case is always the drive shaft. And aside from that, you could also be having a bad engine mount you are on the car. So if you have a bad engine mount on the car too, it could also cause the shaky feeling that you also get whenever you are accelerating. But as for the overdrive that the car does not go, I will still refer him to also try running a scan on the car to let us see, because many a times whenever some of these cars, whenever the computer picks up faults from them, it doesn't allow the transmission to get to the last gear, more or less like a fail-safe mode, or more or less like a cover to prevent further damage on the engine. Right. So that's why
you just hold it right there, because we'll be back again after this short break. Don't go away.
Actually drive your vehicle without engine oil for 50 kilometers. This is very, very achievable, all thanks to Polytron. Still a doubting Thomas? Let our technician prove this to you.
We are about to drain the engine oil of this car to see the power of Polytron, the product that has nanotechnology buried in it, because we believe that Polytron is already working in it. And after doing that, put the car together and we'll drive it around.
Now that you have seen the power of Polytron, buy a bottle today to increase the lifespan of your engine, reduce fuel consumption, save cost also on expensive repairs.
All right, we're back to you again, and this is Automedics coming to you from the studios of NTA2 Network Center, Victoria Island, Lagos. All right, Ibrahim, we've been talking about the Automedics school, and you're one of the senior lecturers in that school. So can you tell us a brief about the school and what you've been doing there?
Well, the concept for the school is that we need to revolutionize the way the automotive trade is being done right here in Nigeria.
Right.
And there are different courses Automobile have put together to make this happen. The first one, which is more or less like our foundation course, is the automotive Autodiagnostics class.
Okay.
The Autodiagnostic class is going to tell you the basics about automobile, and also the basics about getting to diagnose the fault a car has even before going into the repairs. Because for us, the idea is once you get the diagnosis right, definitely the repair you want to do also would be wrong. So the Autodiagnostic class is going to be more of the basics about how do you get to know the problem a car has, how to know use the basic auto-diagnostic tools like the scanner, like the basic tools like the multimeter, like the test lab and the likes. So that's what the Auto-Diagnostics, which is the foundation course for us. And likewise, we also have the course which is the Autoelectrical. The Autoelectrical goes in details about the electrics you have on car, what it entails, the basics of how do you get to rectify electrical problems on cars, and likewise troubleshooting such problems. We'll also have the programming class, and likewise we have the AC class coming also. So these are the basic courses that we have on ground for now, but there are definitely more to come as time.
I think you just named one of the classes that interest me most. That is the auto-electrical, because the automobile today is, should I say, 95% electrics.
Of course, yes.
So if you know electrics in vehicles, that it means you go a long way.
Of course, yes. Especially at this point in time when manufacturers are going fully electrics, probably because of climate change and also the demand for fossil fuel. So most manufacturers are being forced to think electric, and that's why these days you're having hybrid cars. You're also having electric cars also on the line. So this is definitely a good cause for whomever have a vision for.
You can say that again, Ibrahim. So if you enroll in that school, it means that you are going to know much more about future cars that are coming up in the future, not just today's cars. Because today's cars, I mean, they're almost gone already. Fossil fuel will be something of the past very soon, so we'll have to focus more on electrics. All right, so that is a brief about the automotive school and what they do there at the automotive or automechatronics school. The trainings that are available, and how you can also get in touch, to key up with the school. So the topic we're still discussing, I think we'll be able to take one more question, okay, before we go to our next topic, and that is the one from Dio. That one came in through our email, and it says, I drive a Hyundai Accent 2007, and it often drives me crank. That is what he put here. But okay, it says it gives him crank but no start. But then it starts after some time. If it sits for about 5 minutes or so, earlier it used to be once a month problem. Then it got once a week, and now it's happening more frequently. What is the problem? This is a problem that started gradually. Once a month, it doesn't start easily. Once a week. Now it's almost frequent now.
This is what we call a hard start for us, because it eventually starts, but it just takes some time. And when it comes to an hard start, there are several causes that could be why you are having it. Could be because you could not retain, fuel pressure could not be retained on the line, and that might be because you have a leak somewhere around the fuel hose, probably the fuel pump itself. It could also be a reason for when you have a bad sensor. You could have a bad engine coolant temperature sensor, the one we popularly call cold start out there, or the crankshaft sensor. But the best bet still remains that if you have the check engine light on, try running a scan. But when you don't have any fault code and you're seeing something like this, then it's going to be more pointing more to a fuel line problem. That is, you have a leak around the fuel line.
Yeah. Now, will you advise now that each time people experience problems on their vehicle, the first thing will always be to run a scan on the vehicle?
Well, yes, I'm going to advise that because there is a device that helps you monitor what happens around the vehicle. And these devices are much more sensitive, and they get to know this problem faster than you even get to observe it. So, yes, you could have an issue. Whenever you have an issue on a car, the best bet would always be that you start by running a scan.
All right, then we'll be back again to you for the next topic after this short break. Don't go away.
Strong communication skills, good diagnostic skills, problem-solving skills, solid work ethics, strong technical aptitude, and up-to-date technology. Watch Automedics on your reach out station as we provide clear-cut solutions to your automobile problems. Automedics, showing every Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. with a repeat broadcast at 11:30 a.m. on Saturdays. Automedics, the best hands on your automobile.
Welcome back. It's still Automedics on NTA2 Network Center, Victoria Island, Lagos. And this is Automedics. We're still discussing automotive. And our next topic is, for discussion today, is topic of the day. And guess what we picked up for you today? Advanced Driver Assist System. You'll be wondering what exactly does it really mean? ADAS, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure a lot of people have some of these features in their vehicle already.
Of course, yes.
And they don't know how these things really function. Can you pinpoint one or two of these functions?
All right, the advanced driver assist system is a combination of several components that you have on the car.
Yeah.
For example, every one of us would have been seeing cruise control on the car, and we don't
people are
know
getting used to this already.
what the cruise control does.
Yeah.
Many of us would see that whenever we are moving close to a car, sometimes you get to hear a beep from your car, signaling that, oh, you are getting close to a car.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you get to see that you're making a cornering and it's like the light also is following the steering as you're doing the turning on the steering.
Yeah.
All these features are more or less like they come together to form the others. So they have always been different levels at every point in time, but at this point in time it's becoming so enormous that we would need to get to know about them. Even the cameras you have on car, it used to be the rear view camera before, but now when you're putting on the signal light, now you would also see that you're seeing a camera will come up that would display on some car, that would display what's going on by the side of the car.
Exactly.
Or sometimes what they call it a lane departure feature on the car. So all these things are systems that are more or less come together to form the ADAS. And as we said earlier, the ADAS are more or less a safety feature that wants to make the car safer for every road user, and a step towards autonomous vehicle. And then when we say autonomous vehicle, it's more or less like a car that will drive itself without a driver. So it's more or less like when you say I'm going to VI from probably the mainland, and you just get to input that information on your car, and your car drops you at wherever you're going in VI.
Yeah.
So it's an advance of the ADAS system, where the car gets to drive itself. So when you have the cruise control, for example, the cruise control is more a feature that you can set a certain speed for yourself, like you're on 80 km/h, and once you get to that speed, you set it on the car, and the car can continue to move you at that speed without you stepping on the accelerator, without you stepping on anything. But the advancement on the cruise control is the one they call the adaptive cruise control, that yes, at that point in time, the car can get to slow down the vehicle by itself whenever it is moving close to another vehicle, or whenever you're trying to navigate the road, it can also slow itself down. That's for the adaptive cruise control. And we also talked about the blind spot detectors, where you have the laser sensors, the radar sensors that can get to know the distance between your vehicle and also what you have in front of it, probably an obstacle. And the funny thing about these cars is that they are also able to recognize traffic lights. Whenever they get to where you have traffic lights, and probably you have the red light on, or you have the amber on, or you have the green light on, they get,
which means you never get a ticket.
No, you don't. You hardly beat traffic rules with cars like this, because they would get to recognize them anywhere you see them, and once they recognize them, they do the needful. That is, if it is a stoplight that you are that the car is at, definitely the car is going to stop. And also, if it is the green light that you have, the car is going to move on. So these are some of the features that the ADAS has in it, which is a step towards the autonomous vehicle, as we can see presently on the screen, that a car will drive itself without the driver's contribution of probably touching the steering or touching anything.
Well, that is very wonderful. I can't wait for it to actually come into this climb here. But, the advanced driver assist system is here with us. If you have any of such vehicles and you don't know exactly how these things operate, I think you need to meet your technician. Well, we have to talking about the technicians now, you have to meet a knowledgeable technician who knows about this system to actually tell you exactly what they are. But one good thing too is that some of those vehicles don't have manuals anymore that you can actually see in a booklet.
Yes.
Which is one of the things that is also one of the new features that come in now. The manual for some of those vehicles comes embedded with the vehicle system. You can actually see it in the screen.
Yes.
Or there's a special, you can actually go to, the Play Store or whatever, iOS, and download the manual. And it shows you everything, not just show you everything, but you can actually see, some of the simple things you can do on the vehicle, like even repairs, simple thing, fluid level, and all that. So, I mean, it's becoming better now. You can tell me that the automotive world is actually going very, very smart.
Yes, every car manufacturer wants to increase its presence in the market, and many a times car manufacturers got to know that you have when the owner of the car gets to neglect them and neglect certain processes they should have done on them, and they blame the car and say, oh, these particular brands are probably not good. Exactly. And for car manufacturer, whenever they get complaints like that, they get to do research on why is this happening, and many of them might probably be because you have a neglect from car owners. So because of that, you are having features that will get to prop up on cars now, even when you get to need to do it as little as a service on the car. It just come up that probably you have a maintenance required light coming on the car, or probably you have a light warning you that the car should probably get to the workshop as soon as possible, just to make the vehicle much more durable, and
also the credibility of the manufacturers of the vehicle, just like making everything smart, so that they don't get the blame at the end of the day. So I mean, that's you can actually see where the automotive industry is actually taking us to. It's smart level, and that is what we're discussing here right now. And we'll be discussing much more, in the subsequent edition of this program on automatics. So if you have questions, you have issues you want to send, you can send them to platforms where we can be able to analyze them. Even on this program, if you send in, just like the question we took on this program, you can actually send in your questions, and we'll be able to take them on and analyze them on this program. And other features also that are coming on automotive world, you can see exactly what is going on, like autonomous vehicle. I mean, there are some other levels too, like magnetic levitation. We're not even talking about that here now. But we'll get to it someday. But let's start from where we are, which is advanced driver's assist system, and then going to autonomous vehicle. Then we'll be talking about magnetic levitation much later.
And one thing I also want to chip in is that yes, you could also be having some messages being displayed on some of the cars that we are having presently. Sometimes your car might just tell you to take a rest.
Oh yeah.
So
Cars that will force you to go on a break.
so
Cars that will tell you to.
it's more or less like you're having features that could dictate if the driver is tired, and sometimes if the
Right,
driver
we
is
just have to stop
getting
here because there's so
drunk.
much interesting. There are so many interesting things we just can't give you in just one go on this program. So we just have to draw the curtain for the program here today. Join us next time, and we'll give you exciting editions, more things to come on the automotive world. Have a blessed day.